Hey there, my great students. Today we are going to look at lesson 4.2, which has a couple different things in it. There's patterns, there's coordinate plane, etc. Today we're going to just look at part one, and I'm going to go through part one today, and then I'm going to ask you to go back and complete part one on your own. There's some things on here that are interactive that you can do, and some things that you just have to kind of watch me do, and then you do similar things when you work on it yourself. And that'll make more sense when you see me go through this. So part one here, it says, when you have a problem with two variables, you can organize the variables in a table. And here's the table here. They're talking about a data table, which is what this is. And the data table has two columns, your age and your friend's age. Suppose your friend is 2 years older than you. The table is one way to record your age at different points. So in other words, your friend is 2 years older than you. Your friend is always going to be 2 years older than you. So if you look at your age, add 2 to it, and you'll get your friend's age. So if you were 0, I guess you were just born, then your friend would be 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. If you were 5, your friend would be 2 years older. 5 plus 2 is 7. If you were 10, 10 plus 2 is 12. If you were 15, your friend would be 17. And if you were 20, I know we're getting off the grid here, 20, you would be plus 2, which would be what? 22. Very good. So that's a number data table pattern that they're showing you. 2 variables, your age and your friend's age. This one's a little more fun, and I'm going to kind of get you started, but I'm going to ask you to do this part on your own. And I like that this is interactive, and you can interact with it on your computer as well. They show you figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. What they want you to do is figure out what would figure 4 be. And you see you can drag the squares and the circles down into the box. So you have to look at figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, and then you have to create what figure 4 would be. And there's only one correct answer, so you can't just put anything down in this box. It has to be the correct answer. So if we see a pattern, look at the figure 1, the top looks like there's 3 squares at the top, 3 squares at the bottom. Figure 2, 4 squares at the top, 4 squares at the bottom. Figure 3, 5 squares at the top, 5 squares at the bottom. So in figure 4, what do we think? We went from 3 squares, 4 squares, 5 squares. What do we think figure 4 is going to be? Probably 6 squares, right? 1, 2, trying to get it neat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so then you have to think, what would the bottom look like? So I'm going to ask you to recreate. But then here in the middle, no matter what, it was just 1 and 1 on each side. So I'm assuming it would be 1 and then 1 at the end. And then taking a look at your circles, 1, 2 circles, 3 circles, what do you think would be here? So I'm going to ask you on your own to do that, and then you can, when you're done, you can click solution and it'll show you the answers, but don't click that too early. Try to do that on your own. So I'm going to ask you that you do that on your own. Part 3. Okay, this one, they say complete the table, but there's no way for you to get in here and click it and type in an answer. So what you have to do is look at the figures, and it'll take you through figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, which kind of corresponds to over here. Over here, figure 1 has 1 circle and 8 squares. So column 1 says number of circles, number of squares. So for 1 circle, there's 8 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. For figure 2, there's 2 circles, 1, 2. Number of squares, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So for then figure 3, it says 3 circles. How many squares would that be? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Oh, great. Figure 4. 4 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14. How about figure 5? Oh, there is no figure 5. So I'm going to have to figure out if there were 5 circles, how many squares? 6 circles, how many squares? Well, I don't know. I think it's not as hard as it might seem because we went from 8 to 10. If you remember, 12, 14. So see if you can figure out what would be the number of squares here and here. You can comment to me on your Google Classroom what it is, what you think it is. But I think you're going to figure it out. And this one's kind of neat too. Number of triangles, number of circles, you can see these are triangles here in blue, circles in orange. Kind of take a look and see how it's set up here. To me, it looks like for every open side on a triangle, they put a circle. For every open side on a triangle, they put a circle. So what you have to try to figure out is what would, for each number of triangle circles, so for one triangle, there's 3 circles. For 2 triangles, there's 4 circles. For 3 triangles, there's 5 circles. So next would obviously be 4 triangles. How many circles do you think? Probably 6, right? So see if you can figure that out and what the next one would be. And again, I wish that they would let you interact and kind of create this, but they don't. But you can also click, after you figure out what you think that table should be, again, you can click Show Answer, and it'll show you. And then this one's kind of neat. This is the final thing for today on this page, or on this part of the lesson. Figures 1, 2, and 3 show a pattern. Describe why figure 4 is not the 4th tree in the pattern. It looks kind of neat. I kind of like the way that looks. But if you really take notice, you'll notice that this kind of breaks the pattern there. So see if you can figure out, maybe even sketch it out for yourself, what that figure would look like. And once you sketch it out, click Show Answer and it'll show you. Okay. So I am going to stop here, and I'm going to ask you to log on to Digits today and go through this part 1 of the lesson. It's assigned for you, so you should be able to do that. And work that through. Tomorrow we'll be looking at part 2, which gets into the coordinate plane. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll answer them as best I can. All right, guys, have a great day.